And it is time for Iran and Russia, if a recent visit by Iranian officials to Russia was any indication, to build a brand new attack drone factory. I want to get the name right here, in the town of Yelabuga in Russia, some 600 miles to the east of Moscow. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports that last month a delegation of Iranian officials, members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps' Quds Force, visited Yelabuga. They toured this facility with their Russian counterparts, and they agreed to build a major drone factory right there inside Russia, a joint Russia-Iran project, which over the next few years will produce at least 6,000 drones. Now, these drones will be faster and able to travel greater distances than the current Iranian drones which are being supplied to Russia. That is the Shahed 136 model. Iran has already supplied at least 2,000 of those to Russia over the past few months, which Russia has used to attack Ukraine's power grid, its infrastructure, and civilian targets. These are called kamikaze drones, suicide drones, whatever you want to call them, but they're packed with explosives, and they hit a target and they detonate it. These are unmanned aerial vehicles. It's a quid pro quo. You got to think Iran's not doing this. Iran's leaders aren't doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. All of this help to Russia. Number one, Russia perhaps, would it help Iran with its nuclear weapons program? Number two, we know that Russia plans to send by March, by next month, dozens of fighter jets to Iran, and Russian pilots will apparently train Iranian pilots on how to fly these fighter jets. We also know that there are persistent reports that in addition to the drones, that Iran may very well supply Russia with ballistic missiles to help replenish its stockpiles. Hard to believe that Russian invasion of Ukraine was almost 1 year ago, folks, February 24th, 2022, and Russia now needs to replenish its stockpiles, and they've reached out to Iran and reportedly North Korea as well. That's where this is all moving. But the biggest part of this quid pro quo we've reported here in the newscast, I could say we've kind of speculated. You have to think that the Iranian regime has asked Russia to stop all Israeli activity in Syria, to put a stop to Israeli airstrikes against Iranian and Hezbollah targets inside that country where, listen, remember, Russia has thousands of troops stationed in Syria right now, aligned with Iran and Hezbollah, shoulder to shoulder on the battlefields there. Russia essentially controls the skies over Syria, but Russia and Israel have had this so-called deconfliction mechanism where Russia stands aside. Israel gives Russia fair warning, hey, we're coming in, we're going to carry out some strikes in Syria. Russia stands aside and allows Israel to do what it needs to do to weaken Iran and Hezbollah inside Syria. You have to think at this point, folks, that Iran, for all it's doing for Russia, is nudging Russia and saying, hey, we want something in return, and we want you to shut off the skies over Syria to Israeli fighter jets. You have to believe those conversations have gone on and continue to go on. And as Russia and Iran just come closer and closer together and more reliant upon each other, you would think those conversations will only intensify. That's not good news for Israel. And it comes at a time when Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen is primed, apparently sometime this week perhaps, to visit Ukraine and meet with top Ukrainian leaders, including the President Zelensky. Now, Ukraine is making some interesting demands, reportedly, according to various Israeli media outlets, in the run-up to Cohen's visit. Number one, they want Israel to denounce Russia, and they want Israel to denounce the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Number two, they want a $500 million loan from Israel. And number three, they want Israel to share anti-missile technology with Ukraine. So will Israel do that? We'll see. You would think that Ukraine needs Israel right now more than Israel needs Ukraine in a geopolitical sense. So how far is Israel willing to go? We've reported here in the newscast, and Israeli officials have made clear they don't want to rock the boat when it comes to Russia. Israel does not want to get in a very tense situation with Vladimir Putin's regime. The relationship is really unraveled already over the past 11, 12 months. But Israel, bottom line, folks, wants to maintain freedom of movement in Syria. And that is why Israel hasn't come out all out on the side of Ukraine against Russia. They don't want to anger Vladimir Putin and have him shut the skies over Syria. We shall see. Again, Eli Cohen soon, the Israeli foreign minister, top official in the government, will be visiting Ukraine. And Russia's not going to be happy as it is, folks, that an Israeli official is visiting Ukraine, by the way. That will cause tension, although Cohen held a call early on when this new Israeli government came into office in late December, held a call early on with Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, and that angered Ukraine. So Israel is in a very delicate position right now between Russia and Ukraine, amid rumblings, by the way, that Benjamin Netanyahu could potentially play a mediator role between the two countries. The plot thickens, folks. We will have all the breaking updates for you here in the Watchman newscast. Again, please, please pray for everyone affected by the earthquake across the Middle East region. They truly need it right now. Until tomorrow, thanks so much for watching. God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace.